Good evening and welcome to the craft store and what is the launch of a brand new one-day special. I'm Leonie... no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm John Lockwood, and you might be wondering why I'm stood here in the presenters section doing the one-day special. It's because I've swapped with one of the presenters. So I'd like to introduce tonight's guest and the creator of this amazing collection. It's absolutely beautiful, Paola Pasquale.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you so much, John. And I have to say a massive thank you to John because, of course, this collection it wouldn't be here if John wasn't kind of... And I also wouldn't be here because it wouldn't be called Miss P Loves if it wasn't for this lady who is now going to do the presenting job, of course, Leonie Pujol.
John is very good at it.
He's very
John,
good.
you're very good at it, my friend. I worry about my job. Because that's what I call you, Miss P.
Indeed it was.
Paola, I love these dies. Obviously, I've managed to have a play with them. They are amazing. I'm going to be really quick. I'm going to give you figures, facts and figures, and then we can get over to Paola and talk about the concept and what they actually do. It's already busy. So you've got your one-day special. Yeah, this one-day special. Now you've got 21 dies here. You've got a big bundle. Bear with me because your big bundle is actually where your main saving is. But if you wanted to get hold of these, we will be going through the whole concept. Essentially, you are making a journal that can be any pages, that can be anything. It's so exciting. We'll talk about that later. You're getting your pages. You're then getting the actual... the spine and the actual pages so you can make that journal. This is a very exciting concept. Now, this is your one-day special. You are saving £4.35.98. As I said, bear with because you've got a better deal. 100613. You've then got your accessories. I know I'm whipping through, but it's because I just want to get this out of the way. We need to get to Paola, so I'm just babbling and giving you the boring bits, numbers. So the accessory bit, the accessories are gorgeous because there's so many different things you can do with them. You've got your beautiful botanicals in there. You've got the wonderful, I love this. I mean, look at that. How ridiculously cool is that? There's so many beautiful accessories in this bundle and gorgeous, gorgeous cards from so many people, actually. We'll talk about all that later. You're saving £4, £35.96. As I said, we'll go through them in more detail. 858653. And then the small hinge. Now, this is vital, absolutely essential. You need to get hold of this. And again, we will chat about what this actually does in a few moments' time. Only £10.99, brand new today, obviously, as is the full collection, 369983. Okay, that's all your separates. The full collection is the busiest. A quarter of the stock has gone. A lot of people already know this concept because they've seen it. Our Paola, of course, showing us, and of course, a lot of people are already going for it, which is why a quarter of the stock has gone. It is on Freedom. If you're a Freedom member, you're saving £12.79. You're not paying any postage. So this is definitely the best way of going for it. And of course, you've got your savings carried forward as well. So you've got those £8 saving and then an extra, and you've got 3 flexes. So that means at the moment, to get the whole collection, look at that, 23 quid, 23.38. That is 194352. Okay, lots of people are already buying it, but a lot of people are going, Leonie, what are you talking about? What does this do? That's when I hand over to Miss P, because our Paola, this is such an incredible concept. First of all, what's it all about? Show us a sample so we can see what it actually does, because I know I haven't shown anything yet.
All right, so I'm going to show you here the basic one, and you can see, if you can see overhead, you will be able to see. So basically, it's you can see that they come in the pages. So the journal, this is the journal finish. So I'm kind of reverse engineering
those pages.
Yeah. So then this is basically to create, and you can see the die will cut this page.
Amazing.
And it cuts as well and scores this hole in here. And this hole is because you want to have a hinge. The hinge in here. And then we can see how this hinge will go in here. There. So that's that part.
It's got the score lines already on there.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
And then you place it whichever way you want. You can see that I'm kind of alternating them.
I love your wonky pages. I think they're fabulous.
Well, because it's just something a bit different. I know it's not maybe, it's one of those ones that is like, there are square journals out there, but there are no wonky pages, and there's definitely not a die set that creates that Now,
that bit is dead important because
Yes.
that section that you have put in, that is basically keeping the whole thing
the
together,
whole
isn't
thing.
it? And that's just cut through card.
It's just
so
through card.
you don't need any other tools. You
No.
don't need any adhesive. You don't need any binding materials. You don't need a massive machine to bind that together.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit of card on the die.
Just a little bit about it. Let's go through
Amazing.
the parts. That was the sample. I wanted to show you the finished sample. Now, we have got the die here, which is the page. You can see it. You know, the page, and then you have this, which includes, of course, within, you can see here, that's the spine that cuts the hole. Then we have got the hinge in here, which is this part in here. And then we have got two locking keys. You have got like a key, more like, and then we have this kind of tag or arrow element in here. And then we have got an extender, which I'm going to explain in a second. So then we have the page out of the die cutting element, out of the die cutting machine. By the way, for these, you will need an A4 die cutting machine because if I reduce any sizes, you wouldn't have that element that you can alternate the pages. That's the main reason. So then, remember, we fold it here.
So it's already got the score lines on there.
Absolutely has.
Perfect. And the score lines on the page as well, isn't there?
Yes, absolutely. There are, and that's a very good point because you have not just one, but you have got five scoring lines. So you have one here, two either side, and then two either side. And that is, I'm going to show you why. Because, for instance, this is the way that you can then die cut it out of vellum, for instance, or parchment. Then you can do, maybe you have here some, I have die cut out of mirror card, folded, and then again you can change the sizes. You can then do upside down like this if you wanted to. So it's up to you how you kind of...
And the thing is, because it's a not a fancy die, it's not an intricate die, so you can cut out heavier weight cards.
Absolutely.
So this is a way of making your own journals again and again and again. Now, is there a limit as to how many pages you can actually put in
Right,
there?
this is the thing. It's up to you how many you put. Obviously, there is a limit, a physicality, but you know, kind of maybe, I don't know, it depends on the thickness and things like that, but here is why you have an extender. Now, these you have also, can you see those scoring lines in there? So if you have a little bit of a bigger page, so for instance in here, you can make it into a more of a spine.
So you can get a really chunky spine on
you
there.
can. And of course, you can, if you put it like this, you can see it's thick watercolor cards. And you can see that I have got here 4 of them. So that is about 300 GSM, so you can see it. And then if you want to join them together and you want to create like a spine that looks like a proper spine, you can bring your glue and use this extender, which has been calculated for that element, and of course that will have glue. Then you need to use glue, but then that kind of has a proper nice spine.
How's that worked? Has that slotted into the other?
So what you do,
that's proper clever.
You can do is you can put in here a little bit of glue in here in that side, and what you do is you glue it into the inside bit. Can you see that?
I love that.
But that's just to extend it. That's the only time that you need glue is to extend it, if you wanted to. That's the only bit that you need glue, is if you wanted a very chunky one.
Oh, look, this is such a cool concept. This must have taken you a little while to sort of figure out and calculate.
Well, it's kind of at the thing, yes, because I'm going to say, because that's a very good point, that the idea I had it like about 2.5 years ago, and it's been in development ever since, because I wanted something that it was kind of boundless. So then you can bring it in, again, I can take it out. Even if it's glued, I can bring those pieces in here.
That's so clever.
Can you see that I can still bring it in and I kind of add more pages? And this is important because some people is like, for instance, now I have like cut vellum, for instance, or parchment. Then I can interchange it. And this is quite important, especially if you are an artist that does jelly plates, for instance, like you can take it out and do a print, do more layers if you wanted to do more layers. You don't need to bring it out I don't need to rip it out of my book. That's what, I mean, obviously that's a big deal because with a journal, part of my thing is being lazy and not taking pages out because I don't like taking the
the binding off, but that is easy. It's so easy, Paola.
I mean, the other thing that I have die cut here is fabric with a backing. So a fabric.
Of course.
So what you want to do is give it like a thin paper on back, so that will give it more. Sometimes, of course, a couple of threads might get stuck in here.
So that means, all your fabric. Now, I am going to just tell you, almost half of the stock has gone. We have only just touched on the first basic dye. I say basic, there's nothing basic about this. This is such a good concept. You've got 66 dyes. We have only touched on your main page with your spine and then the hinge and then the extender. We've literally only talked about 3 dyes. You have then got all these extra dyes. We will be touching on these, I promise, but the big deal was to get that concept over. The big deal was to show you where you can go. Can I show some finished samples?
Yes, please.
Because look, our John's just passed this over.
Sam, I need to say a massive thank you to John and Sam, Sam has made this. Thank you so much. You have been so amazing to me. And also, I want to mention Sheila, Art Angel, and Leslie, and of course, Julie Hickey, who have made all the samples with Sam and John and myself.
Can I say again, when she got the samples, literally, we were at her house outside the other night and she was so excited. This is actually bringing in, not only is it using Paola's dyes, but obviously it's using your sort of regular book binding as well. So you can mix and match your concepts. You can mix and match what you already have at home with this fantastic concept. And of course, then you can do wonderful extender pages. You can do so many things. That is the easiest spine, the easiest way I have ever seen of binding a journal. Because I've had a little go at binding, of course I have, you know, I'm a crafter, of course I've had a little go at binding, absolutely loved it, took me ages, never did it again. This is the kind of thing, I mean, I've got the dyes, but this is the kind of thing that you will do again and again and again because it's easy, because it's intuitive, because it allows you to be super creative. And I mean, you've got so many different journals. If you love your journals, it could be your art journal, it might be a diary, it might be your keepsake, it might be your scrapbook. There's so many ways you're going to use this. It is absolutely flying. And when I open that up, you see that's what's keeping it all together. That little hinge there is keeping it all together. That is the genius part of this whole concept. There's it's so busy. Now, if you do want anything, please check your baskets out. The busiest is obviously the big collection. Of course it is, because it all mixes and matches and it gives you so many different ways of using it. We will talk about all the extra dyes and we will talk about this one because that is seriously important. If you do want to get hold of this collection, be a Freedom member. You make the beggar's saving, and it means today, if you're checking out your basket, 3 payments, your first payment is only going to be £23.38, no interest, and you don't pay any postage on top of that for a Freedom member. You don't have to be a Freedom member, but if you are, it's a why not deal. 194352. Okay, we've been talking about the finished samples. I've hardly shown any, and there are beautiful finished samples. Don't worry, we've hopefully got a few hours, but that depends on stock. Thankfully, we've got a lovely little clip to inspire you. welcome back. Now then, it is super, super busy. In fact, half of the stock has gone. 14 minutes? Hey, I'm not being funny. I mean, I know all our shows go fast, but actually I thought we'd been here for at least 30.
I know.
Not saying that it's dragged, it certainly hasn't, but I think because we've been so like, bah, 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 bah. Right, enough of me, Paola, because we've been chatting about this dye as well, because that dye is super, super important.
Now,
what do you do with that one?
This one for me is, you know, one of the reasons I only want to mention is that it was very important for me to cater for all budgets. And I know not everybody has an A4 die cutting machine, which you need these pages. Now, this one is the one that allows you, even this way, it's 6 inches, so you will be able to use it with your A5 die cutting machines. So if you like the concept and you cannot spread, you know, you don't have an A4 die cutting machine, and you this, please go for this one.
And it's so affordable on its own. It's so affordable.
It is. So basically, what it does, this one, it doesn't cut the outer shape. The only does is scores it, and it's a little bit different. It's a little bit shorter, but of course, everything kind of, in a way, is kind of a little bit different because I wanted to make sure that it would give it enough space for smaller pieces of card.
Perfect.
Then you have the scoring lines, and then you have, again, you have a hinge, but it's a slightly different hinge from the other one. It's more straight, because I also know that some people like the straight lines. They don't like the wonkiness. So this one is also for you guys that don't like the wonkiness.
But we could still use our straight edge one on the wonky one.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, you can. I mean, this one, you can use it on the straight one, and the wonky one. The wonky one won't fit through here because it has got a bigger aperture. But if you wanted, you could do that. And then you have got, instead of locking keys, you have got locking tags. So if you put a brad, that will lock it, and this one has got like a little V shape that kind of locks it. So then, of course, we are going to put them. So this is, for instance, all those backgrounds that you have. There are different ways of doing it. Literally, if you want wonkiness, you don't have to put anything like this. Like you can just put it like that, and then it will be on the wonk. If you want to make it for sure that it's straight, what you do is you make sure that you score it down the middle, and you cut, and that will give you a perfect line, whether you position it more or less there, so you kind of see, follow that line here and that line here, press it down. I mean, if it moves a little bit, I will blame that I'm extremely nervous. And I know that I do this for a job, but I'm so nervous. But I just wanted, because I get so excited. And this is one of these collections that has been, it's something that, I will say, this is a traditional method of making a hole through a scoring line and then inserting something to lock it. But it has never been done in dies before. And I think the whole, making sure that it came up with the whole idea that everything worked together was very important. Can you see how
that's perfect.
Now that will hold this, but then imagine envelopes. Imagine that you go to a wedding or you have got memorabilia from somebody, and that is kind of really important. You can keep it there as well. Now,
and also, I mean, there's a lady I follow on Instagram who just decorates envelopes, and they look phenomenal.
Exactly.
So, I mean, all the envelopes, recycling envelopes, you could create so many different looks.
Now, this, I'm going to say a top tip that I've done is you have got those 2 holes. What you do is you draw a line with a Sharpie pen, and then that means that if your a piece of card is larger, you just line them up with this. Originally, I didn't think for larger pieces. Remember, this was for 6 inches or less. But then I thought, well, if I do this, then I can see it and line it up. We're getting so many emails. Thank you ever so much. All saying congratulations to our Miss P. Thank you. I know a lot of people have been so excited about this, and 2/3 of the stock has already gone. If you're wondering about it, please check your baskets out. It is exceptionally busy. I know we've been asking John if we can have extra stock already. Is that it? So we've got what we can. You do need to check your baskets out, so please, and I love that you've got different options. So if, like our Miss B said, if you can't go for the biggie today, or you're thinking, you know what, that's going to do the job for me, that is $10.99. You can get that on its own, $10.99. So affordable, and it does what, you know, it does this that she's showing us, so I'll stop talking. Right, so I have die cut all the mechanisms here. Right, so I'm going to put here, I have got this bit here that I'm going to use the poke tool for this.
Lovely.
You know, I'm all fingers and thumbs because...
Don't worry. When I was playing with this the other night, I mean the other day, whenever it were, I didn't wait for my card to dry. It is a lot easier if you wait for your card to dry. Especially when you've been using texture paste and gesso.
Absolutely. Now again, with the kind of a spine that we have, or the hinge, and here is actually a hinge, you kind of fold it, the lines that you have in here, you have got, even if you wanted bigger, thicker spines, then remember, it doesn't matter what you have in here. Look at that, how it works in here. And then you have, instead of the locking key, you have got the tag. Remember, it cuts that indentation. You press it, you fit it through, and you lock it in there. And then you have the elements. And remember, you could have a piece like this, and we have got pieces like that. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
So you could trim it, or you can literally just go like this.
Yeah.
Like something like this, or random, maybe like this, and it doesn't need to be perfect, or you can make it perfect if you want it. It's up to you how you do it. Just press it down, and of course, you know.
It's so exciting. We're very busy in Europe and America. That's so exciting. Thank you ever so much if you are watching. Remember, if you do have any questions, this is live TV, so you can email in studio@thecraftstore. I really had to think about that.com. So if you do want to email in, please do so. And, you know, if you've any questions. But thank you ever so much. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so see, basically, you then kind of put all those bits and pieces. I mean, now I can go in and say, well, that's a bit too big, so I can then trim it down. Yeah. But you can see how you start building those elements in here.
Abs has emailed in. Did you? I found the name she heard. Hiya,
thank you, Abs.
He's watching.
Oh, thank you, Abs. You know, this is the thing. Like, one of the things I wanted also is to incorporate, to make a journal that I can bring, my, you know, all and create stamps and stencils. I have used them here. Also wanted to show this sample because I'm very proud with Tracy Hayes' beautiful stamps.
I love Tracy Hayes stuff. That's so cute.
So this is a
colouring book.
It's a colouring book, exactly. So then you could actually say, I'm colouring this and taking it to whatever. I can add more texture. I can bring stencils, and then you can put it back.
You could actually. I mean, they could be pages that the end cut up and use for your cards.
Absolutely.
So that could be your little book that you carry around with you, but then you cut it out and they're your toppers. Because they make beautiful card toppers.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've got so many cards that are literally, I'm trying to rummage for cards now, but you've got like, for instance, you've got a lot of cards that's a card, but actually that could be the page.
Absolutely.
So then you can obviously take it out and make it your own.
Now you mentioned that, with the hinge system, which I don't know where I put it, this would hold all your Christmas cards, for instance. Once that you want to put them, you can then die cut them. So you just die cut this on the spine, and then you can do a book of the little, you know, or home cards, new homes, or babies, or things like that.
Yeah, keep them all together. That's a lovely idea.
And then it's
that's beautiful. And actually, you could put, you know, on the back of the card, the boring back of the card, then you could put photographs, couldn't you? What was that? Oh, the Mollies have emailed in as well.
Oh, the Mollies.
That's so cute. If you're wondering at home who are the Mollies, tell you, similar to Craze. They're not at all. They were Kia, not similar to the Craze at all. They're beautiful.
Right.
Okay.
Right, I don't know what I'm doing now anymore.
Do you want me to give a doodah while you get your head sorted? Okay, this is it. I'm going to show you finished samples. So, your main collection. Let's just talk about main collection. So, what you've got, of course, is the main body. So that is going to cut those fantastic quirky pages. It's giving you the all-important, the slot there that your actual hinge fits into. You've got an extender. You've got lots of additional extras that we'll talk about. You've then got the lock, essentially, that locks all those pages in together. You've also got within your big collection, and these are really nice. This is something that Paula does a lot, actually, puts those extra pages in her art journal books. And It's having those beautiful detailed pages, and that is definitely a Paula thing, is that one. You've then got all these little extra dies, loads of beautiful decorative dies that you can then use, and I will show you these. You've then got within your big collection, you come on to, oh, and these are beautiful. So you've got your, all your little extras now. So we are talking, you know, filling the pages. We're talking decoration. We're talking adding those wonderful elements. And you've got all sorts on there. You've got your geometrics, your beautiful, the wonderful foliage down there, the botanicals. I love the heart as well, 2-part die. I know I'm not going through them in detail, and I do apologise, but I know it's important to see how everything works. Let me show you some samples. Now, this is the exciting bit, because all of these samples, and there's such a huge variety, they've all been made with this collection. You might be card making, and obviously there's some beautiful, beautiful cards made out of these. You might be using your wonderful, all your gorgeous, you know, your bits of card that you've got left over. All these, of course, we instantly recognise as all and great. Hi, Abs. But look, what you've got there is one of your, can you see? So one on that side, one on that side. So you're almost creating a gatefold book. That could be using anything. You could fold it whichever way you want it. This is the beautiful thing about this system, the way that you can use it. Your decorative papers, all your gorgeous decorative papers. So what decorative papers have you got in your stash that you don't want to cut up? You make them into a beautiful notebook. I mean, it could be a notebook, it could be your journal, it could be whatever you want it to be. Your envelopes, beautiful envelopes that you can then create little pocket books in, which looks absolutely exquisite. And don't forget, I mean, this is something, man, look at that one. This is something that isn't size specific. So you can create so many different looks. I mean, that is just phenomenal. So you're incorporating all the dies that you've got in your collections. What else have you got in your collections? I mean, that's the beautiful Stamperia papers. I love going through and recognising all the different papers. Let me show you I'll just show you one more, because this messes with my head. Look at this.
That's amazing.
I wish she'd done that. So she's die cut the circles. That is just, right, so look at this. She's die cut the circles. Look at all the circles. So she's die cut them. Oh, that's a lot of thinking. I'm not even going to try and explain that, because that's...
Yes. What I think is it's genius, the circle bit, but the fact that she has double hinge.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I never thought of that.
That is amazing. Honestly, the team, thank you. You are you're mad with all your creations. But absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much. Every single one is amazing. Now, almost 70% of the stock has gone. This is the other thing. Look, different size of pages. Again, you are not limited. It's absolutely up to you. You can create so many different looks, and it feels sturdy. I think this is a big deal, Paula, because you've created a journaling system that's held together with card.
Yes.
But that feels sturdy.
It does.
Do you know, it's not something that you think, oh, is it going to fall to bits? It feels really, really compact, but really, really, solid.
Solid. And of course, there is ways of even making it more solid. But one of the reasons, and that was a very good point, is I just want to make sure that it was as open. The way that the dies are designed, the thickness and everything, is to make sure that it would cut the most amount of different materials as well. Because I started designing dies for quite over a decade ago now, I think. And of course, that is very important that you know, you want the versatility of the materials that cut.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that means that then you have got more possibilities, more creative. Of course, it depends on your die cutting machine and obviously the plates as well, because I know this because my mother every now and again is like, can I have some more new plates because they don't cut anymore? It's just a plate. Sometimes it needs a change, but that's the reality of it.
Well, that's just die cutting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What else do you want to show us, Paula?
Well, I mean, this hour is basically to just go and show you how it all works. works rather than. One of the dyes I haven't mentioned is I really like the geometrics, and again with apps we were talking about how much we like the triangles and diamonds. So I put this one that cuts out into the card, and then we have the one that will cut it in here as well. So that one we can cut it out if you wanted to. So it will create, I have it somewhere, another here. I see, I am trying sort of organized, but not that. So that could create like a more of a window if you wanted to.
Beautiful.
So you have all possibilities.
Yeah.
So then
but that allows you, because that die just cuts into the card. I mean, you could die cut it again and again and again.
Absolutely. You could then make it into like a kind of it's not exactly tessellating in the way that it kind of, but you can expand it. You could then put it here, for instance. Shall we do that?
Do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Because this is the thing.
And you can have it dropping off the page as well.
Oh, you can. And also, the idea was, because I did this once.
Oh, Haley. Who else has emailed?
Oh,
Miss Peps. Hi, Peppa. Hi, guys. Haley. I nearly called you Hazel then. Sorry, Haley.
This one, for instance, will fit. Can you see? If you want to do a little bit of paper piecing, that will be exactly a little bit bigger. So then you can do floating elements as well.
Cool.
And then the same it goes for this one. And of course, then you have got the X hexagon, which is here separately. So you can do the same thing here.
Beautiful.
So if you wanted to do that. So see, there are all these possibilities in here. Because it's called Miss P Loves, almost every single, well, I think every set has got a little heart in it somewhere. So this is kind of the heart in here.
Beautiful.
And so if we are going to do this, I wanted to show, I missed that. I was kind of just concentrated. What did you just say?
Our Christy's having a look for the hearts in every collection.
Oh, I think there is one maybe missing, one that is missing. Because even in, which one is not, it doesn't have a heart?
The one with the geometrics.
The geometrics.
She might be right.
Oh, she might be right, actually.
Right.
Yeah, you might be right, actually.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, got to spot it. Oh, yeah, I know why. Because this is how it works. So you get the heart. So it's the arrows that go through the heart.
Boom.
That's why that was actually did that.
Well rescued, Paola.
Well rescued. That's kind of
So close.
so close. Right. Also, what I can do is you can see here how you kind of were talking.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then what I also wanted to show is one concept that you will see it throughout is also these paper clips. I just kind of thought it was cool to get those paper clips that kind of go in if you wanted to kind of put them in there. So you can glue them or leave them like this.
That's cute.
But also they are, so if you, for instance, have, for instance, a heart here, let's put it in here. Sorry, Hannah, black and white is the worst. I know that the director, Hannah, but you could hold it.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
And then you have.
I love the paperclip.
And they could be also kind of a photo corners as well. So if you don't want to glue something, you just glue this element to the page and you have that kind of element.
And they'll go on the apertures that you've just cut with the triangles.
Absolutely.
Those slots in there as well, won't
Absolutely. So you could then, for instance, do like this. Then you just kind of put them in here.
Which looks really pretty.
And then this one will be the same size as well. So you could then kind of do it, their paper pieces if you wanted to, or you can just put it into the smaller one. And again,
and have it floating.
Yeah, kind of just having floating elements in there.
Yeah, they look cool. So that one is obviously just one of the dyes. So that one is the...
this one is with their main one day special.
Because look, it's only that little one. That little one. And that little one gives you so many different options with that one. So if you're wondering what that one is, that one goes over that one. Okay, so that's where they are. Okay, next, please.
Okay.
Next, Paola, next.
Next. All right. So what I'm going to show, I'm just kind of thinking why we wanted. Oh yes, this of course the pages. So the pages have, you know, these pages are on their own, but also of course they will give you the mats and layers. So to me, it's very important to have them both because, for instance, if you wanted to do something like this, so you can see this is die cut out of black, the main pages, and then Then you have here the white elements in here. So this is why the elements are so important. The pages.
Rang
Really?
just to say she's loving the show, but she rang in specifically.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's so
Thank you,
sweet.
that's so
Sorry,
sweet.
I should stand up.
Yeah,
rather
right. So if you wanted to, for instance, you want to create a panel, so we create a panel here.
Yeah, because this is very you, isn't it?
It is, and this is one of
your thing.
my thing, my thing.
Your
My
thing.
thing. So let me grab. This is. I'm going to use black cards. This is not actually. This is more like paper as well, but it's not between paper and cards. It's not really thick. It's around 200 GSM, but you can use up to 300 GSM. If you are using 300 GSM, please use one dye at a time, because then that will give it a little bit more of pressure to go through it.
Cool.
So what?
And that dye, obviously, it'll work as the plain dye will work as your matte layer.
Yes.
But then it will also cut out the detail of that dye. But the other dye that you're cutting out the detail, that is actually cutting into your page. So that could just be in your page.
I mean, it could have been cut into the page if I wanted. Now, what I wanted is to show you another thing that you can do. Let me show this with this page, for instance. You can then put it, and this is one of the reasons, is because it's so random, you don't have to put it the way that it should be.
Yeah.
You can then put it like this, and then it works, because the whole page, if you wanted to put it in here, you can. The other thing that I have done, and the original one had it, is that once that you have got this element, there is another way to secure it. If you want to glue something here and create a problem, you can. The only thing I would say is that once that you glue something into the hinge, you will not be able to open it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's the only how we say caveat to gluing something here, is that you can, and it looks perfect, but then you will not be able to.
Well, there's times you're going to want to do that. There's
Absolutely.
times you're like, if you're selling them or giving them as gifts,
Absolutely.
then that's what you're going to do, isn't it? Because it's possibly your own that you're going to be doing that with.
And
but no, that looks beautiful.
And the other
Paola.
thing is, for instance, I'm now kind of thinking, you know what? I would like to glue this element to the outside of the hinge, right?
Yeah.
But this looks very solid, right? So what I'm going to do, and this is the whole concept, is about what I'm doing now. Yes, I know I'm being a scatty demos, and partly it's because I'm still nervous, but partly is because this is the whole concept about this collection.
And it's not scatty, it's just showing you can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of the kind of thing that is like, well, this is how we craft at home, isn't it? It's like we kind of thinking, oh, I have got this idea. And I wanted, when I kind of thought about this system, I kind of thought, this is absolutely, it's a kind of a little bit of something that allow me to change my mind. That kind of created a system for our journaling that could allow me to say, I can change my mind every single time that I want it. And I want to create something that, I can be
unique.
Yeah.
I think this is what I love about it. It's simple. For me, anything that's going to require faff, meh. So for me, it's the simplicity, but the fact that it just allows me to use anything. I can use all my scraps. I can use anything, whatever I find. And like you say, it's so ridiculously versatile.
It is. And for somebody, it's perfect for commitment phobes. If you are one of those ones that change your mind every now and then, it's like, oh, this is perfect, because you can change your mind a lot. And
I love that hinge in the centre. It's so easy but so effective.
Oh, and by the way, there is also one of the larger arrows. Let me find the large arrow in the geometric. That one can work as a hinge, as a locking mechanism as well. So it can go. It's been designed. Just make sure that that's going opening there. Can you see that kind of works in there?
Cool.
So that kind of locks it there, because that bit has been designed so it's a little bit thicker than the rest, so that kind of goes in. So you could use it. You don't need to, because you have got 2 locking keys, and but then here you can see that then when I add this there, I can add that, and it's more floaty.
Yes. Yes.
So then I can go in with my glue in here. And
Have you used it with acetate?
oh, that's a very good question. I have indeed. I'm doing it the wrong way. I'm putting it into there, but then that will dry clear. Oh, that's fine. That's fine there. And then kind of wipe
that looks
it.
so cool.
Should have put it in the black element, but you can see in there that kind of adding those pages. Now, acetate, there is a sample with acetate. I may have it there.
Got it.
Yeah, you got it. So basically with acetate, I did that one, and some acetates I found no problem, and some of them had. But John Lowood told me that if you use watercolor cards and then the acetate and then the dye, or vice versa, I don't know, I think that's how he said, it will die cut it.
Right, okay. That's wonderful. So just give it a bit of a tooth to cling on to, because that is just, I mean, again, it just looks so effective. It is, right, I'm going to give you a bit of a quick update because this is ridiculously busy. Okay, the phones are really busy. I do apologise. I know a lot of you have been waiting for quite some time. We're really sorry. You can get on the website. It is the craft store. Yes. .com. So please get on the website. That's how you'll be able to get your order through a little bit quicker than on the phones. We are getting through those calls as quickly as we can, but this is exceptionally popular. The first collection our Miss P has brought to us with Crafts 2, of course, which is amazing. And Crafts 2, I mean, we know and love Crafts 2. I've known Crafts 2 as a company for years, since I started in the craft industry. And me and John were just talking, because I used to order for Topaz, and we used to have a wall of peel-offs, and so many of those were from Crafts 2. So I've known this company for years and years. Such a good company for our Miss P to work with, because they deliver incredible products at fabulous prices. I mean, you know, $10.99 for something that will give you so much. But also they're bringing you these as quickly as they can, and they're bringing you a phenomenal price for such an incredible collection. So thank you, Crafts 2. Now, if you do want yours, head to the website. Shall I show more finished samples? I think that's the best way, isn't it? Because let's face it, everybody's worked so hard, and the samples are amazing. And this is it. They are so different. Katie said they're so different. And that's it. I think when you look at things like this, Paula said fabric. Look at that, the fabric. It is amazing. You'll be using your decorative papers, so think about those decorative papers that you don't want to use. This, and I say it all the time, journaling is the way to use your decorative papers, because you keep this. You're not going to give it away. You're not going to, make cards out of it and then they go to people who might not appreciate it. This is something you're keeping. You might be making these to sell, which quite frankly, I think is a wonderful concept, because this is easy to make to sell. You're running it through your die cutting machine. I mean, how easy is that? So if you're making your own journals, your own little books, this is just an absolute must. And look,
an idea. Sorry.
What's your idea?
No, because you could write a story.
Oh,
and then because they're open dies, you could die cut them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can sell them.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many ways. There's so many ways of using it. It's one of those, and like this, because that is actually, again, part of the die. So that is your the actual hinge mechanism, but used on the other side. And that's the thing, isn't it? You are using so many different concepts. This is a very Miss P thing to do as well. So obviously using scraps of dyes, bits of dyes, using dyes so they're floating, which looks gorgeous, using all your beautiful backgrounds, chopping up all those backgrounds. So you can tell this is Paula. And look how beautiful that is. That's just a book of backgrounds and then black dyes on it. How effective, but possible. And you can do that. Anybody can do that. And again, there's so many different dyes in this collection. I mean, we've not really talked about a lot of these dyes. There'll be a lot of dyes that you get home and you'll think, oh, what did we do with this? What are we going to do with this? Honestly, well, Paula's got a few hours depending on stock. And that will hopefully explain absolutely everything. You know, Paula did talk about the insert dies as well. That's the page insert. So this will allow you to mat and layer. And I love that. And I love this on the end. How cool is that?
Because that's a very good point. We can do show because
That's
that's
well
a
cool.
different way of hinging it. Because and I haven't even and this is one because you know how we have put the
Yes.
wider element outside.
Yeah.
You can do it the other way around. So you can bring the smaller element, the bigger element inside it, right? So
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
thing. And then you can use the locking key. Where is some locking key? And that's the cutting mats, so they're fine. They're not fragile. And then you can use your locking key here. And
Yeah.
instead of using a locking key, you could use like
Chopsticks.
chopsticks.
I mean, genius. Because that looks so cool.
It could be pens.
Yeah, it could be pens. It could be anything, couldn't
Yeah.
it? Let's face it. I mean, you could get so creative with this. It's going to be so exciting seeing what people do with these, Paola.
That's actually a very good point. If you want to put any things that you make on social media, just hashtag Miss P Loves anywhere. And also, of course, the crafting with John next door and crafts too. That is where you should if you want to share inspiration as well.
Amazing. It is so busy. In fact, 70% of the stock has gone. John is here. We have been saying, can we get any more? The answer is no. What we've got is what we've got. If you are having trouble checking out, because I know it has been a little bit dodgy, please try PayPal, because I always forget we've even got PayPal. Please try PayPal as well, because that is another option for you. 194352 is your item number. That is your big bundle today. Be part of freedom, because obviously it saves you money. You're not paying postage. And it also means today, to get the full collection, you're only going to be paying £23.38. That is obviously thecraftstore.com, or you can get on the telephone 01733 602 2000. But of course, the queues are a little bit busy, so you're best going on to the website. Paola, before we're about 10 minutes ish.
Well,
Do you want to? What else do you want to show us?
I'm going to go because I have discovered the mixed media.
Yeah, I like this.
You need one. It's
I'm
really good, craft store. Now, because what I'm going to do is I have got two of them here. Now, one of the things I would say, I'm going to spritz over it, and and one of the things I would say is don't score it or don't fold it more if you are going to spritz it, because then of course if you have got open fibers, the water will seep in. I mean, it's not a major thing. What I would definitely don't do is close it back again. But I'll show you what I mean. Because now I'm using icing sprays, which are amazing. And
are these the set ones?
Yeah, the set after.
Look at that colour.
They are. Now you can just leave it like this, or like just dab it, and I kind of like the can you see the little texture? I know that you one day, because I watch you all the time, like fangirling here. But kind of wanted paper towel that didn't have texture.
Yes, I do.
Sometimes you want a little bit of texture to get a little bit of color in there. So we have also, it has kind of created a stencil. What I meant at the beginning is, while it's wet, don't fold it back. I mean, I'm going to be very naughty and do it. But the reason is you want to make sure that it's dry before you fold it, because obviously the fibers are there. But you have these pages in here, but look at that. You have the contrast in there. Then I kind of go in, fold it this way. And then you have this bit here. Beautiful. And again, here I'm going to do the spine. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of, I love this. These colors are so yummy. Love that.
All the colours are available on the website. I know we haven't touched on them, but yeah, they're really nice.
Also, you can kind of go in and split. And by the way, I'm using mixed media card from Dolly Dimples, which I adore, because it's not quite white, but then of course that means with the colours. I don't mind so much of this colour, this kind of in the side like this. I kind of, you can always undo it again. Because that's unbound. So then I kind of go in, I'm going to put this side in. There is no right or wrong. You can mix it and match it.
I love that. I love that there isn't a wrong way. Because then it means that, again, it's easy.
And for instance, now I kind of wanted to do, for instance, as a hinge, as a locking mechanism, one of the botanicals. Because then you can do.
That's really pretty.
So let me put it there. there. And can go there, and that will be a
cute.
little flower in there. So there are other things, and then look at that, it kind of comes in a little bit.
That's sweet.
Now, also one of the things I wanted to put, because it's like when we were talking, and this is the great thing of working with John, is that he's a crafter, he knows design size, and we were kind of, and I said, oh, this would be nice for memories as well, not just for our journals. So of course, then I thought, well, we had to put a frame, and this in one, and of course, I'm gonna put one of my favorite pictures. And then
what are you using?
I don't know. It's one. It's not too bad, this one.
Oh no, I like that.
Before it got messy the night, and then we'll put it like this. But then what you can do is glue it, and of course, you know, if you wanted to, you can then put a little.
Oh, and then you have your lovely your lovely little doodah whatsits.
And then we have that.
The paper clippy ones.
The paper clip, absolutely. So the paper clipsy, paper clipsy. Where are they?
Where is the paper clipsy?
There it is. There we have got one. So then you can then put it like
so
this.
cute.
There. And of course, that way you can kind of glue it if you wanted to. Or I like to not see. I'm non-committal.
We know.
Do you? There we have. There we have. But look
so
at that.
Pretty. Yeah, isn't that cool?
And then we kind of put.
Well, you've got so many pages to decorate then.
Also, the one of the pages, the geometric, I die cut it out of masking, you know, masket, or I don't know how it's called, this one. And then I'm going to go with, I like to use a STAZON or something permanent, because that means that it doesn't matter what I have got underneath. And then kind of gone in.
And if you're using something like just your masking sheet.
This one is a little bit too strong. I don't that too.
I was going to say, if you're using your masking sheet, use your brush, because then it'll be safer.
No, this one is a little bit older. This is what I brought in the STAZON here. But it doesn't matter, see, this one is a little bit, because that kind of adds a little bit of more of an element. And by the way, this one is definitely a tessellating pattern, which means that you can expand it if you wanted to.
Beautiful.
So you could then bring it in. See, can you see it? That And this is based on a Japanese, because my inspiration, I love Japan, but also I love the geometrics are based on traditional Afghan carpets and Aftek patterns and things like this.
Amazing.
So you can bring in.
That's so cool.
See, this is too harsh, so now I kind of bring it in.
See, I quite like that.
You like it?
Yeah, but you know me, it's like, really harsh black and everything.
I don't know where I left it here, so I don't know where was I? At here? There. Well, I don't know. I don't think it was, but I kind of bring in it. Doesn't matter. Just a little bit there.
Right.
So build in those layers, and then this is kind of the ones that.
And that, you see, we haven't even talked about this. This is it. You've got so many extra dyes, and I love that. See, because you've used black now, that just really pops, doesn't it?
And then you can, of course, cut it like just elements out of it. Now, I also made sure that the design had like these little dots. So if you like to embellish it, and if you like your new, your drops or your kind of things, you can just use them for pearls as well. But you can see it here that you can then bring it in all together. Or you can also, this one is the one that you can bring in and glue it here. Perfect. I mean, you cannot fit it in, but you can glue it there, so that will kind of act as a resist as well there.
That's cool.
So so there is a lots of different possibilities, and this is how I start crafting and making it.
We've got 2 minutes, Miss P.
Okay.
Right. 2 minutes, almost 3/4 of the stock has gone. If you do want to get hold of this, I know there's a lot of you waiting, going, yes, we know, Leonie, don't keep saying that, we're trying. I know, I am so sorry. Please keep trying. The orders are going through, we are getting those orders processed, so please keep trying. Obviously, you've got the PayPal option as well if you want to go for that. We cannot wait to see what you create with these. It is endless. The possibilities are endless. I love the ease of this. I love all the different little accessories that you've got in here. But the fact that now you can take all your, your beautiful decorative papers, you can take your scrap papers, you can use all those incredible backgrounds. You've got so many different elements that you can use in conjunction with this one. And that one, Paula.
Yeah.
We which
So that's a very
which die
clever.
is that one?
That, I believe, is the one of the spine. So you can
cool.
fold it in and create like a little pocket.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, team, that's really sweet.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is.
I kind of want loads of little tea bags in it.
Ooh.
Oh, I really, really like that. We've got seconds, quick.
Oh, this one.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
really cute. The smallest little book in the world. Upside down, Leonie. Oh, that is fabulous. Is that out of the doodah as well?
This one is also absolutely the spine. So the spine can
Amazing.
create a little booklet because you will have the spine in here, so you can
That's
add more
so
pages.
cool. Right, seconds. Miss Pete, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Anybody thinking of getting it? Why do you think they need it in the last remaining seconds?
Because it gives them the boundless possibilities of art journaling.
Wow. Boom. That were succinct. Miss P, we'll be back with you at 8 o'clock. Please tune in then. Thank you, Paola. Bye.